Make this blanket with me, and in this blanket it will feature 3 stitches. There will be a crisscross stitch, a garter stitch, and a basic knit stitch. This will be in crisscross, this will be in the basic knit, and this will be in garter stitches. So let's get started. I like to fluff my yarn as I go, so I'm going to use my fluffing tool. The arrow shows you where I'm pulling into, so if I'm pulling, you should go this way, not the other way. Follow the arrow. So that, just like every other blanket, we're going to start with a slip knot. Leave some tail here and then make your slip knot like this. X, put your hand inside and pull out. Here you go. You have your knot. Good. Now this is the slip knot. This doesn't count as a stitch yet, it's just the knot. This is the loop, it doesn't count as a stitch until you pass in another loop in like this. They become stitch 1, and this is another loop, and then you pass another one in. Now I have made 2 stitches, 1 and 2. That's 2 chains. For my corners, I like it a little bit snug so there will be no sloppy end around it. So I'm just going to do like 2 finger wide at those first and the second. From there, I'm going to increase my loop to 3 fingers. I like to put my work on the table like this. It helps me to better have consistent tension. Do whatever works for you. Then I'll put my hand in like so. Pick my working yarn, take it in, pull out, while this hand is still down, holding the tension of the last stitch. I'll pull the next one, measure with my finger that I've been using. I'm using 3 fingers, so that is it. I'll come back to this next one and do this. Pick and pull, same thing, 3 fingers. You want consistency. And then another 3 finger, and then another 3 finger. For now, how many stitches or how many chains? We call this the foundation chain. Remember, this is a knot here, then this is chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, chain 3, chain 4, chain 5. For a crisscross pattern, you need an odd number. Trust me, I tried the even number, it didn't work. So you need an even number. And for the size of my blanket, I'm going to be making 40 inches by 50, which is a standard lap throw. So for me, I do not like to talk about how many I'm casting. I like to measure as I go. So I'm going to cast on an even chain. Consistency. Again, pull 3. Let's take some measurement. So I have 14. I'll cast on some more chain. So for now I have 21. Count again: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18. Oh, 18. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18. Good. So remember I said crisscross has to be an odd number. So this would be 19, which is an odd number. But let me measure again. So we're at 24 inches right now. I'll keep going. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Again, this my hand keeps this on the table to maintain that last loop and the tension while I am passing the next loop in, with these two fingers opening it up and spreading it apart like this. What I find that does again is that the next row, I will show you why I like to do this. It makes the dragon hump that we'll be talking about in the next row easy for you to see when I spread it out like this. I'm going to measure again. Now I'm showing you what to do to take away any guesswork. Measuring, getting your foundation chain right is very important. At this stage it is 32. That means I still need to add more chains. Now let's measure again. So right now it says it's at 39 and a half. But now let's count and make sure that the stitches are odd number. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29. That's actually an even number. Again, it doesn't have to be a perfect inch, but it's very close to what I want, and the number of chain that I need is complete. So I'm going to stop at this chain. So how many chain did we just cast on? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 29. But one thing I like to do around this corner for consistency is I like it to be the same size as the beginning chain right here, and that is so that every of my corner will have a sharp corner to it. So I took out 2, and I'm going to make this, remember, 2 finger like so instead of 3 big finger, and I'll pull out 2 fingers like so, and I'll pull another one out like this. So this loop is going to be the first loop of your first row, but let me count again to make sure. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29. Good. So I have 29 chain. This is not a chain, this is not a stitch as well. So it's going to go up because you're going up that direction. All right, at this stage we are going to, you see, I'm not stretching it out, they are all in their relaxed form. Then I'm going to turn my work around like so. Now, do you see what I said about expanding, like holding your home? Do you see all these humps right here? Let me see if I can use something to show you. Right here, that's called a dragon hump. Right here, that's called another dragon hump, like so. So when you have it in a relaxed stage like this, it is easier for you to see those hump. But even if it's difficult for you to see, there's a way you can find out where the dragon hump is. This is the last stitch, right? If you go round and go under it like this into this place and bring out your hand like this, where it is coming out from right here is your dragon hump. So if you're finding it difficult to see your dragon hump, that is one way that you can do that. But if you cast your chain the way I did, it is pretty much easy for you to see that dragon hump. So I just showed you two ways for you to find the dragon hump. And why do we need that dragon hump? When we pull out from those dragon hump, it gives our work a beautiful braid at the bottom, which I'm going to show you now. So for the first row, some people count this foundation chain as their first row as well. But depending on the pattern, if you have a pattern you are working on, or depending on what you choose to count as your first row. For me, I like to just call this the chain. And then the next line is going to be my row 1. So my first row, remember this is the first loop for the first row, and make sure that that loop is not big as well. It is 2 finger. Again, like the beginning of the chain, there is 2 finger a measurement here. I want it to be 2 finger here, 2 finger in the first 2 row around here. So a corner is formed like this, right? So whatever I do in this corner, I will do also in this, not corner, this side, I'll do on this side, so that the corner here will have a consistent look. So that's what I'm going to do around the 4 corners. So now this is 2 finger, like this last 2 loops. I will skip this first hump because this takes the position of that. So this is going to be a drop stitch. This is going to be the drop that I'm going to do. I will skip this one. Sorry about that. And then I will take my working yarn, find the second working dragon hump. I like to place my hand on the next chain here to maintain tension, while these 2 fingers here does the job of digging out the dragon hump like this, and then I'll pass my working yarn in like so and pull the loop towards me. Again, I'm using this hand to hold on to this hand to hold on to this, and then I'll pull out my working yarn like so. Remember I said this yellow will be a crisscross, but my first row, or maybe my first 2 row, I like to make a basic knit. But for this blanket, I'm going to make the first row a basic knit. Now for crisscross, you really actually need a bit longer, the same size of measurement with your foundation chain, and you will see why. So I'm going to use 3 finger for this. In a regular basic knit, you will use 2 finger, which is about 1.5 time less time than the foundation. I don't know if that makes sense, but I hope it does. So this is 3 finger, like so. Pull this out. That's what I'll do until I get to the end of this chain. 3. Put your hand down here to maintain tension. Pick up your working yarn right at this tail. If you leave any slack, you're going to get a lot of gaps in your blanket. So all these little details is what helps you have you, again, relax your chain and down. Find the dragon hump like so. Pass my working yarn and pull towards myself. Consistency, 3 finger, I'll put it down. So I'm going to do this until I get to the end, and we'll go to the next row. So now we are getting to the last 2 loops right here. I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing. Be consistent, 3 finger. Even if you look at the way they are laying, you can see that they are all like the same level, like so. Pull, pinch at the end. Use this hand to hold on to the previous loop or stitch or chain and pin it down. Grab your ump and pass your working yarn from behind and pull like so, and that is 3 fingers like that now. So I have 3 fingers right here. Now I forgot something. Remember that in this one I had mentioned to you that I like this side to be a little bit sharp around here. Now I remember that this particular stitch, there is no side braid on it, so this has to be the same size as the rest of this. So this can be 3 because there is no drop stitch in crisscross. But when we get to the parts that would require just like a basic knit, I will tell you what to do there. But for the crisscross, we are not going to do a drop stitch, so you do not need that braid on that side. But it is nice that the bottom braid looks good like this. So I am done with the first row and the foundation chain right now. But let me count the loops and make sure that we have the correct number. Because if you do not have the correct number, you can extend your chain right here and make more loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Do you see? So we have 29, which was what we casted on in the first place. 29 chain and 29 to work. Now, why we pull through the middle, the dragon hump, is, let me reveal it. Then you turn your work over like so. And do you see this lovely, fluffy, consistent looking braid that you have here? That is what we were aiming for by dragging through the dragon hump in the middle. So this becomes foundation chain and my row 1. We are going to start our pattern right here. So our pattern is crisscross, and the reason why we extended the size is because we are going to be crossing stitches over each other, and when you do that, there's a tendency of it pulling. So if you do not extend your loop size, you're going to pull this work too much and then it will be all crumbled up together. So when you have stitches or you have pattern that has to do with crisscrossing, twisting, you have to extend the loop you're working with and not just make a regular size for a basic knit. A basic knit just needs 2 fingers. All the other ones like the twist and the crisscross or the cable, those need at least 3 fingers to account for the pull that would happen. So now remember, there is no drop stitch. My crisscross, I will do this will come first. Instead of this being the first one that I will knit, I will come to the second one and then I will knit that. Once I knit the second one, again extend my loop so that it is relaxed. 1, you see, 3 relaxed, and then I'll do the second one like so. That's the first crisscross stitch right here. Next one, this is the next 2 pair. All right, see my way. Okay, this is the next 2 pair like so. 1 and 2. Number 2 will go first and it will be at the back like this. All right, pick your second loop. This is your working yarn, right? And then pull. Use your hand here to hold on to this and then pull like so. Pull it to get to that side. All right, then you come pin this down again, pick the first loop that's now number 2 and pull. Now we've made the second one. At this stage you might not see the pattern. By the time you walk more rows, that's when the pattern will start showing properly. Again, pinch this down to hold on to the tension. This is the next loops I'm working with, 1 and 2. Number 2 will go first. I'll move this backward like this so I can see what I'm doing. Insert your finger in, get your working yarn from this while my hand is still pressing on this like this. Again, all these little details help not to have your stitches pulling. Now you see how relaxed that is? Now it has filled that space, right? Put my hand there again, because this is the recent one we just pulled. Always the recent one is what you're pinching down to maintain the tension so you don't put. Let me show you. If I don't pinch that down and I come this way to pull this, am I mistaken? You see how I mistakenly pull this out from there? We don't want that. That is why we take time in maintaining our tension by using my non-working hand to press down, get my new one and pass my yarn into it. Again, you need your stitches all to be consistent in height, in shape, and the way you're pulling. That is number 2. I will do this all through till I get to the end of the chain. When I'm getting to the end of the chain, I will show you what next to do. Again, and down, this pull, whichever works for you. I put my hand in, get your working yarn and pull that out while I'm maintaining this. You see that now? This has filled the space. All right, now this, pull and get this. If you're a tight knitter, you will need to relax your tension in this stitch. If not, it's going to pull so much. That is that. 2 pair again and pulling this down, my finger into my loop, get my working yarn, pass it in and pull out while maintaining that space that it is. You see me holding on to this as well, and then pull your loop to meet this. There you go. I've done that part. My hand will shift to the next one and get ready for this one. If you pull like this, you see you're pulling too much. You don't want to pull too much. Just get your working yarn and let your next yarn do the job. Do you see that? Everyone is still maintaining themselves. So that is the next one. So I'll go ahead and get almost to the last page, and then I'll come back to tell you what next to do. So let's keep knitting. So we are going to be left with 3 loops at the end. This is the last pair right here. Finger in and pull, finger in and pull this out. Good. With time, this becomes like very easy for you to do, but if you're starting as a beginner, please, I recommend take all these necessary steps to help you stay consistent. It's easy to go, it's better to go slower and get it good than for you to breeze through and get frustrated when you see that it's not coming nicely. So do you see the one of the things that will happen if you're a beginner and you will struggle with pulling around this foundation chain? You can knit like maybe like a couple of knit row first, maybe like 3, 2, 3, 4 rows before you start your pattern. That gives you a little room to have your braid look exactly how it was before. But because I have been knitting for a little while now and I've had practice, I am able to adjust and make sure that my foundation chain still looks good by the time I'm done. So bear that in mind. Now this is the last loop. This will come up straight like so. Then immediately you come to this one, right? Number 1, number 2, number 1, number 2. So number 1, number 2 is what we always pull, right? So number 2 will come to number 1 now, and number 1 will come to number 2, like so. You see that? That is what we are going to have. Again, you rearrange your pair now. This will be my 2 pair now. Before, this was a pair, but in the next row, this is now a pair, like so. This is a pair down, pair up. You can do this beforehand if you're a beginner. That might help you not miss any stitch. Up, down, up and down, like so. So this is the next pair I'm working with. Remember, number 2 always come, you pick number 2 first. Number 1, number 2. So number 2, slip this back. Put your hand in here. If you have to, pull and press down. And then pull my dog out. That is what I'm having. Again, put your hand there. Pass your working yarn in. And pull. So you pull like so. And then the next pair is this 2, 1, 2. Which one will go first? If you say number 2, you're correct. Slip this behind. Put your hand here. This is my working yarn here. Put my finger in to receive my working yarn and pull in your chain into your loop like so, and you drop down. Now you see everything is still relaxed. You're not pulling and pulling too much. Everything is still relaxed. Now put your hand down here. The next one is this loop over it. Get your working yarn from the back. Pull your working yarn. Not this, pull the working yarn itself. And then get the slip covered like this. So that is the next one. I'll go ahead and finish up with the rest. Now this is a pair as well. 1, 2. 2 goes first. Put this back. Put your hand down. Again, this hand is pinching both here and here to give you room to see what you're doing. Pick your working yarn, your loop. Don't pull. Relax. Put your hand in. Pass my working yarn behind. It is my working yarn from here, not even here. It is from there that I'm going to pull my loop and let it sit right here. Next one, put my hand down here and let's work with this loop. And in, put my working yarn in like so, pull out, and let it sit like so. Now that's another crisscross. I'm going to do this all through the end, and I will show you the third row. So this pattern is just a row 2, row 3 repeat. That's what it's going to do. Up, pinch down, pull like that. Do the next one for this. Pull like so. One thing you should know about this stitch is that it is a yarn eater, so you're going to use a lot of yarn compared to if you're doing a basic knit. Now everything is sitting. There is no crime in adjusting your stitches, but just make sure that you're not pulling and contracting your work. You see? So we've done that. Again, we've gotten to the end of this row and we'll have 3 left. So whichever row you are, you will always have 3 loops at the end. 2 will be a pair and this will be a basic knit, but by the time you're turning the other way, you'll be alternating, and again you will end up with 3 loops right here as well. So that is what you will be doing. So the crisscross is just basically a 2-row repeat alternating each other. So if I'm on the left side, if I'm going to the left side, I'll have 3 loops at the end of here. If I'm walking towards my right side, I'll have 3 loops at the end here. So that is what we are going to keep repeating until you get to the height that you want. For me, I'm going to be adding a stripe, like when this is about, I think about 5 inches, thereabout. Oh, it's 5 inches now. Okay, let's do maybe about 10 thereabout, or about 8. When it gets to 8 inches, then I'm going to add my accent color, which is this brown and also this green, and they will be in different stitch pattern. So I'll go ahead, finish up on this chain, on this row I mean, so you'll see it, and I would go behind the camera and get to that level that I want to get to and come back to you. So this goes back, pinch down, do not pull, just let your stitch relax. Pick your working yarn, remember your tension in here. Pick your working yarn, use this hand to hold on to this loop that you're not working on, like so, and then release this loop you're going to pass your working yarn in. Pass your working yarn into it, stretch out like so, 3 fingers, let it lay and cover up that space like so, and then same thing, put your hand in this now, pick your working yarn and pass it in from the back like so. Do not pull, just is the working yarn you're pulling. See my hand, I'm holding on to this, my hand is holding on to this, and I'm pulling my working yarn out. 3 fingers, that way everything is 3 relaxed fingers. Even if you're not using your fingers, you can use the eyes from the previous loop to gauge it. So that is what I'll be having. Everything is sitting in its place, and this will be regular basic knit going up like so. All right, and then now next row will alternate. So I'll have 2 pair now, 2 pair, 2 pair, 2 pair down, 2 pair up, 2 pair down, 2 pair up, 2 pair down now, 2 pair up. So what was a pair before, they will separate. 2 pair down, and they will go marry another person. Down and up. Now you see the 3 left out stitches that I was talking about. This is it. So that's what I'm going to go around now and do. And when I get to where I'm going to be changing anything, I will come back and I will let you know. So you see what is left out of one skein of yarn. So one skein of yarn, do you know, see how much is left? And this is how much I've done. Only foundation row 1, row 2, and this is the third row that I'm working on, and my yarn is already finished. So I'm going to join another yarn right now. So at this stage we have enough that I can add my weight to wedge. When we started, we measured 39.5. Let's see how much it is now. So that is 37.5 right now. So it has lost about 2 inches. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use my weight to block it, and at the same time to keep the size. So I'm just going to stretch. You see how it's stretched nice. And I'm going to put my weight this and stretch a bit. So this is the tension I'll be working with right now. If I measure again, it is now 39.5 again. So this is how I'll be working and placing them, and these weights help to keep my blanket's size. So that is that, and then we'll continue with working with our crisscross like so. This is the pair. Now again, remember, you want it to fill up that space, then put your working yarn in. So you don't want it too tight, but at the same time you don't want it too loose. If it's too loose, then you have a lot of gaps. So you just want it taut. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that word properly, but that's what it is. So I'll go ahead and finish up this row and add some more rows to it until I get to where I'm going to change the stitch pattern and add my accent color to it. So see you in a bit. So it's time for me to add my accent color, and for this one I'm going to do a single garter stitch for it. So it will just be a roll of this for single garter stitch, and this is how I'm going to join the line. So this is the last loop right here. All right, so I am not doing a drop stitch, so I'm going to end at the last loop here, and the next thing will be for me to cut at the end here, and then add my next color right so. This is the part I am going to bond right that middle, and right that middle, press and press in. Then give it a tug, roll together. So right here, let me move the blanket a little closer so you can see. So this is the last stitch for the orange. Instead of dropping the stitch, we are not doing any drop stitch. I'm going to make a new loop right on top here, and then I'll continue with my basic knit right here. So that is what I'm going to knit all across, like so. You see, I've almost missed this loop right here. So be careful, make sure that you're not skipping any loop. And the next one, and the next one. And then the next one. And I'm going to do all that to the end in this basic knits. And when I move this closer, move this out of the way. There you go. So for this stitch, you don't want it to be too big, just 2 fingers, because again, it's not a crisscross. Remember I said that in the beginning. 2 fingers. Fingers. I do have a full tutorial on how to create a garter stitch. If you're interested, check on my channel or let me know in the comments, and I will send the link to you. Make sure your loops are not twisted. There you go. And this is the last one for this row. So all of them are the same size. Because I'm not doing a drop stitch, so this will be the same size as this. If I was doing a drop stitch, this loop would have ended with a different size. Then I will go to the next one, is a purl stitch. So that's one from the front to the back, two from the front to the back, three, four. So I'm going to do that till I get to the end of this row. So what garter stitch does then? So when I started, I had this vision of just using one row of single garter stitch. But right now, I think this is too short, so I'm going to make another row of single garter stitch. So I'm going to knit and I'll make another purl stitch. So it will be 2 rows of single garter stitch. So when I mean row of single garter stitch, is single garter stitch is a purl and a knit and a purl. That's one pair. And then I'm going to do another pair, a knit and a purl. That will make it double ridge. I have only one ridge around here now. I want to make it double and I want it to have some height to it. So I'll go ahead and no drop stitch again, but I'm going to make a basic knit and go all the way to the end like so. Make sure they are kissing each other to avoid or minimize gap. For whatever reason, this color is so soft, like as if it has no strength. Anyway, it's very fluffy, thick, very fluffy that you can barely see the design. So I'll go ahead and do that and see you when I'm done with that row. So at this point, I'm done with 2 pair of single gather stitch. That's why it's having 2 ridges, 1 and 2 ridge. Like I said, a gather stitch is a pair, a knit and a purl. So I have 2 of them right now. And it's time to add another of my accent color. So I want to add this green, and for this green, I want it to be in the basic knit. So I'm going to do just a basic knit. Initially, I want it to just be 1 row, but let me see. Let's do 1 row, and if I think that it needs another row, I'm going to add to it, just like how I added another pair of gather stitch to this brown. Again, I'm going to come to the end of the road right here. At the end, cut right at this point, pull it out so I can better see what I'm working with, and snip that away, and then join my green yarn, cut that too, snip that away, looking for the center twig. Okay, here you go, right here. And then let's look for the center twig in this one too, right there. Let me prepare my yarn properly. All right, and then pass my last purl stitch right here, like so. And then now we do a basic knit. Remember, no drop stitch, so the first will be knitted into, and like so. Again, just 2 fingers, don't make it too big. That's how I like mine though. You realize I'm not fluffing this one because I've fluffed it before. I've used this yarn before to do a tutorial, so it's fluffed already. And that's why you see that I had to join in between. Basic stitch all the way to the end. Like so. I always like to hold my tension of the previous loop. Again, little habits like this is good for consistent work. Press on this, put my hand into the next loop, and pull the working yarn, not the loop you're working into. Pull the working yarn. That is too big, adjust. So this is what a roll of it looks like. So I could stop here and just have only one roll of it, or I could make another roll of this green. So what do you think? Let's decide. Let me see what another roll will look. Let me see what another roll will look like. And if I don't like it, I will just take it off. Or should I just use one roll? Decision, 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 decision. Let's do another roll. No drop stitch, so I'm going to knit the first one too. Like so. Like so. Like so. So this is what the two of them will be. I think I'll add another row. Yeah, that's nice. Even though I want it to be very thin, I don't want a large section of the grain, but I think 2 rows will not be bad. These yarns are so thick, you can barely see the knit. Anyway, keep doing that to the end, and then I'll switch back to this color because I want it to be brown, green, brown before I continue with the mustard color. That's the design I'm going for. Adjust your loop as you walk. Do not be afraid to do that. There you go. Okay, so the next is brown. I'll add the brown now, and that will be the complete for the accents design that I want to add into the crisscross pattern. So same thing like you did before, cut off the tail at this back right here, very close to that. Pull out the loop, and then we are going to fuse it with this one. If you have 2 colors to bond and you have a lighter and a darker color, it's preferable. I think I like it if I add the light to the darker color. I prefer that. Okay, so test, that's good to go. And then knit and no drop stitch, so we're going to knit that first one as well and do a basic knit with the brown. So I'm going to do this basic knit all through the end of the row, and when I'm coming back I'll do a purl stitch, which gives me a single gather. I don't know, now I'm thinking probably I should just do 1 pair for this one, just to give it a little difference from the first row here. I think I'll do that. So there's something I want to bring to your attention. As you can see, the sides of my blanket, this side is not going straight. Do not worry when you're doing this. And the reason why it's like that is this section here is the pattern always leads to contraction. And this other pattern here, this stitch, the stitches here do not pull. But everything is going to balance because I'm going to start this color again on this row, and by the time it pulls, it's going to pull in. And even if at the end of it there's like a little bulge around here, by the time I will add my border around it, it's going to take care of that problem. So I just wanted to let you know that don't panic when you see this. All right, so the next thing we're going to do now is go back to our crisscross with the mustard color. So I'm going to add that back, and we will build this middle section. Let me check how long this is now. So this is about 14 inches, and I wanted to do 40 by 50. So 40 by 50, if this is 14, the top part too will be a replica of this bottom. That will be another 14. So 14 plus 14 will give me 28. 50 minus 28 is 22 inches. So the middle section now, I'm going to go ahead and walk this crisscross for 22 inches. And let me show you how to change back to this crisscross right now, because that might be a little tricky too. So I'm going to cut off this yarn at this place right here. Very close to the tail. And then pull that out and get it ready to take the mustard color yarn. This looks a mess. Let me wind it up a little. All up in the way. Okay. So this is the tail of this one. Like I was saying to the other time, this is the bright color, so I'm going to light up this side. You can do either. I just prefer when I'm burning lighter and dark to burn the darker color. Pull. That's it. So now I'm going to finish off with my purl stitch right here, because that's what I have on this row. Go back up this way, no drop stitch. So I'm going to do a basic knit first for a seamless finish. But now, instead of 2 fingers that I've been using in this section, I'm going to go back to stretching, which is 3 fingers, because like I said, remember, it's going to pull. So when you get that ready, you're already accounting for that. So 3 fingers long, is what I'm going to do all the way across this row before I will now start my pattern in the next row. 3 fingers. Three fingers. Good. So I'm going to go ahead and do this row. So at this point, I have gone ahead and I have done a row of basic knits and with the long loops to account for the crisscross that I will be doing next. Like I said, do not worry about it widening. It's going to self-correct itself shortly because it's going to contract now. So we have to go back to what we were doing before in the crisscross. No drop stitch. So this 2 pair is the first one. 1, 2. We'll pick number 2 first, and then number 1 will go on top of it. Down and pick and go up like so, and then number 1 now becomes number 2 like so. So we made 1 crisscross. The next group, 2 loops. This one goes down, up like so, then this goes on top of it. There you go. That's 2. It's done. Like I said before, you see that little bulge around here? When we add our border, it's going to correct it. So it's starting to pull inward a little. Again, be mindful of your tension. Don't pull too much, but at the same time, don't let it be too loose that everywhere will be gappy. Elongate your stitches like so. I'll go ahead and finish up with the other pairs and show you what it looks like. So I've gone ahead and I added my first crisscross roll right now. So this is what it's looking like. You can see the sides are starting to align and this is starting to pull to join like this other one. So you see this small curve like this. Again, please don't panic. So the reason why I'm taking my time to show you this is so that you will see that when you're working with multiple stitch in a blanket, you have to be cognizant of the fact that all these kind of things can happen. This section here is a pattern, it experiences pattern contraction. This does not, so that's why they look relaxed. And then we're going back to it. By the end of the day, we're going to have a beautiful blanket when we add our border to it. So I'll go ahead and do a couple of rows that will be up to 22 inches of this mustard in crisscross and come back and do this accent design again at the top before we get to this. And so maybe the next time you will see me is when I am casting off or when I have any other information to share. So you will notice that I changed my location. I'm still working on the blankets, but I went to somewhere bigger and just to show you how far I've gone. So it's still the same blankets. There you go. So I mentioned before that you might have like a bulge around here, which is where I changed the stitch pattern. So hindsight, probably I should have just left it all crisscross even with this color, I think. But anyway, there's nothing a good border cannot fix. As you can see, my side is straight all the way top. The only place that is giving problem is this place where I switched the stitch pattern. But I'm going to fix that with the border at the end of the blanket. But so far, I'm loving the way the crisscross is looking on this blanket. So at this stage, I have gotten to 22 inches, which was what I wanted this place to be. That is 22 inches. Because this blanket is going to be 40 by 50. And if I measure from here to here, it is 14 inches. So if I do this same pattern up there, it will be 14 plus 14 plus 22 here. But before I go on, I want to quickly show you something because I've gotten to the row where this will just be where I'm going to add my color. So if I'm going next, it will be in this order. It will not be two row like this. I will start from here and go all the way up. So that's how you mirror what you have on the blanket. Secondly, when I was here, I made like a little rookie mistake. It's not looking bad now, but hindsight, I should have reduced the size of this loop because the size of this loop between the last crisscross row and the gather stitch was big because I didn't take into account that that was going to be a knit and not a crisscross. So it doesn't change the beauty of the blanket. I just feel like I should let you know, and if you're doing yours, learn from me. So at the top here, I'm going to do exactly what you need to do. So this is going to be the last row of crisscross before I start the single garter with the brown color. So when I crisscross my stitch like so, naturally, if I'm going to have another roll of crisscross, I'll pull on this and make it long, right? But because this next roll is going to just be a knit, I will make this smaller. So instead of 3 fingers, I'm going to make like regular 2 fingers, like so. All right? So that is what I'm going to have now. And I think it will give it more, less gap. That's what I want to say. So that is it. Again, you're not pulling this one that is forming the crisscross. The only thing is that you're reducing the size of the loop of this. That is the next row. How that makes sense? So I'll continue with my crisscross like I've been doing. But now I'm going to reduce the size. You see what an habit. I was already in the groove of how I was pulling. So this is what I'm going to be having here. I'll go ahead and do for the rest of them. Pull, or make it smaller, like a thumb, the size of your thumb, right? Then cross this across. Do not pull this, just relax it. Get your working yarn, pass it in, and make this loop that is coming out smaller. So that's what you have with all these ones right here. So that's what I'm going to do all the way till the end here. And when I get there, I would show you how it's looking. So remember, the first row is a knit and the second row will be a purl stitch. So we're going to pass it from the front like so, like so, like so, all the way till we get to the end. And then we'll switch color to color green and do 2 rows of knit for color green, just like how we have in the bottom part. We're just simply going to repeat that in this section as well. But instead of 2 pair of garter stitch being the first one, it will be a mirror image. So I'm going to have a pair of single garter stitch, 2 basic knits, and then back to 2 pair of single garter stitch. So it's time to add more yarn. Adjust your loop as you go as usual. So it's time for color green. We're going to do exactly the same thing. Come to the tail end of this and snip it off. Because this is a purl stitch, you pull from the front like this. And it's time for us to add the green to the brown. Okay. My lighter, the gas is low. I need to refill. Come and work for me today. Okay. So I'm just going to continue with the green. The green is in the basic knits stitch, so that's what I'm going to do. 2 rows of it. Just going to run it through all the way to the end of this row and then run it back the other direction, and then we'll switch our color back to brown. I hope this video is doing its job of sharing what I'm doing with this blanket. You see, it's repeating what it did down there, spreading out, because obviously that is another stitch pattern that doesn't contract while being made. So I'll finish up this row and then I'll switch back to the brown and do 2 pair of simple garter stitch like we did before. I think I'll go behind the scene and do that and come back and show you what it's looking like. Adjust your loop every few stitches. So I have finished the one line of garter stitch, 2 basic knits and 2 single garter stitch. Now it's time to go back to the mustard color and do the crisscross stitch. So again, I'm going to cut right at the tail here. Clear this from the way. We are done with this color in this project and this one as well. And then it's time to add the mustard color like so. Okay, so this is the last purl stitch with the brown color, and we're gonna do a basic knit. Again, this basic knit will be longer because this will, on the next pass, we're going to do a crisscross. So it has to be ready and take into account the crisscross that is about to happen. So I'll go ahead and do the basic knit for this part all the way to the end of the row, and we will repeat what we did here. The next time you'll see me will be to cast off this blanket. So see you in a bit. So I'm just showing you that you see the widening around here. Now by the time we put it again, you're going to have that bulge that you have below as well. So it's time for a crisscross. Start with number 2, then number 1 goes over number 2, like so. And go over again. Relax stitches is what you want. totally lost the footage of me casting off this blanket. For whatever reason, my storage said it was low. I'm just going to cast off a little around here so you can see. It's just the typical way of casting off a blanket. So this is where we are. You just cast off regularly. Put this in, 2 loops together. The second one goes into the first one, and you adjust again. Pull. Be careful not to lose any of the loop. That happened to me before. Make sure you check and make sure you're picking the right loop when it gets to the turn. Next one. 3 more to go. Now these last 2, I'll make them smaller, just like the beginning chain corners. 1, and then the last one is this. So that is that, and this is what it looks like without the border on the side first. So I think I'll just do a slip stitch, just like how I casted off here. I'm going to do the same to this side. You can see they're not looking the best. So that's what I'm going to go and do now. I'm not going to fasten off, like I won't cut off the yarn here that I used. I'll just continue on the side. Let me show you. So I'll put 1 into this place. Make it smaller, remember? Around the corner should be smaller, that's better. And then put in this. 2. And third one. And now we can return back to the side there. That is the knit side. Now this is the bulging side, so I'm going to pick 2 at the same time right here instead of just one side that I'm picking. So when I get here, I'll pick 2 like this to make it, to taper it down. Then put that over it like so. There you go. Same thing for this. Push 2 of them together. And then side. And then next one. There you go. So I'll go Okay, just cleaning up that side. So around this one that doesn't need, that is not bulging out, you pick only one seam or one loop over there. So that's what I'll continue to do around the side. I think I did 2 of these. I need to space out this. That's bulging up. Okay. Okay, better now. So it's like every other side, flatter and better. So I have gone ahead to add my border to this blanket, and I am sorry that I do not have a video for it. I don't know, for whatever reason, during the record of this tutorial or during the record of me making this blanket, because it's not really like a tutorial, during the record of this I keep missing my clips. I'll think that I've pressed play record button, but I ended up realizing I wasn't. So I'll just walk you through, because what happened at the initial stage was that this side was bulging out and that was like narrow. So I extended the part that needed to be extended. For instance, this part became like narrowed like this. So I did 2 rows of knit right here up to here, 2 rows of knit here. And when I added the border, I used like a single crochet border, like how you regularly add a border right here. And when I got to this part, I just did the way you cast off. In crochet, it's called a slip stitch. Here was a single crochet, which is how we had border to chunky knit blanket. Then when I got to this part that is already extended, I did a slip stitch, which is the way you cast off your blanket at the top, so that this will give it more height and this will just be like regular shortened height. And at this place as well, I did the same thing right here. So that was what I did, and right here too was a single crochet, and here was just a slip stitch. On this other side, on the top part also, I did a single crochet, slip stitch around here. When I got to this place, to give it height, unlike that other side, because I think probably I should have just made it consistent, in the sense that I would have extended the way I did here, I would have done the same thing here. But that's okay, it's not taken away from the beauty of the blanket. So right here I did what is called a half double crochet. I don't know if I have a video already, but I think I have it. Or just search YouTube for how to do a half double crochet. That's what I did here to elongate it. Looking at it, I think I like this way it is here, because it's looking like it's matching the crisscross pattern right here. While in these, if you look closely, you will see that there's a difference between the stitch. So hindsight, maybe I should have done it the same way I did this part, but that's okay. This blanket is for me, and I like it the way it has come out like this. So that's what I did for this blanket. So again, I'm going to talk about a few things. If I was to do this blanket again, I will not use different stitch. I will just use the same stitch, which is the crisscross, or I will just use either a garter stitch or a basic knit, because whichever pattern pulls, it gave it that difference. So yes, but at the end of the day, I made it work, and that is what it's looking like. I hope despite all the hiccups that happened in the making of this video, that it has been helpful. You got one or two things out of it, and it gives you confidence to try this stitch pattern. Please do let me know in the comment section what other blanket stitch pattern would you like me to take a recording of and share with you. I am open to suggestion as I am learning to grow on this channel. Thank you for being supportive. Thank you for being here with me, and have a nice day.